The morning sun stretched its golden arms over the rolling fields, casting long shadows across the dew-covered grass. Birds chirped, roosters crowed, and somewhere near the barn, a goat let out a groggy bleat. Another day had begun on the farm, and nobody was more ready for it than Pinkie. Pinkie was a red heeler with a coat the color of rusted clay and eyes full of spark. He wasn't a pup anymore, but he had the energy of one. Every morning, without fail, he did his rounds, a self-assigned patrol of the farm that he took very seriously. He started at the chicken coop. "Morning, ladies," Pinkie barked cheerfully, sticking his snout through the wire. The hens clucked nervously, as they always did, even though Pinkie had never so much as nipped a feather. He wagged his tail and moved on. Next was the goat pen. Billy, the loudest of the goats, stomped his hooves and tried to headbutt the fence every time Pinkie came near. "Still cranky, huh?" Pinkie teased, darting back with a grin. He knew exactly how close he could get without causing a ruckus. Just a bit of fun. Then came the perimeter check. Pinkie trotted along the property line, nose low to the ground, checking for anything unusual, coyote scent, raccoon tracks, or even just the smell of last night's breeze. Everything seemed in order today. Just the way he liked it. By the time he got back to the farmhouse, the old green pickup was already rumbling to life. Pinkie bounded up to it, tail wagging furiously. His owner, a kind-faced man in worn jeans and a dusty ball cap, leaned down and scratched behind Pinkie's ears. "Town trip, boy," he said. "Come on." Pinkie leapt into the back of the truck without hesitation. He loved town. All the smells, the sounds, and the wind in his face as they drove down the bumpy gravel road, pure joy. As the truck rolled out past the front gate, Pinkie sat proudly, ears perked, tongue lolling from his mouth. He had a good life. He had a job, a home, and someone who loved him. And if anyone had asked, Pinkie would have told them, if he could talk, that he was exactly where he belonged. But fate had its own plan. And it all started with a squirrel. About 15 miles from the farm, but to Pinkie, it felt like another world. As the pickup bounced along the winding roads, Pinkie stood tall in the bed of the truck, ears flapping in the breeze and eyes scanning everything that zipped past. Cows in pastures. Mailboxes shaped like fish. A kid on a bike who waved as they passed. Pinkie barked back with a friendly woof. When they pulled into the parking lot of the supply store, the familiar smells hit Pinkie all at once: hot asphalt, fried food from a nearby diner, and 1,000 other scents dancing through the summer air. Pinkie sat politely in the truck bed, his tail wagging in slow rhythm as his owner hopped out. "Be right back, boy. Stay put." The words were gentle but firm. Pinkie understood. He'd done this 100 times. "Watch the truck. Wait. Easy enough." His owner disappeared into the store, the bell above the door jingling behind him. Pinkie laid down and rested his chin on the side of the truck bed, eyes half closed in the sun. He let out a contented sigh. Maybe he'd get a piece of jerky from the store when they left. Maybe they'd swing by the feed shop, where the old man always snuck him a biscuit. Then, movement. Something darted across the corner of the lot, fast and fuzzy. Pinkie shot up. Squirrels. 3 of them, leaping across the pavement like it was a racetrack, tails bouncing like fluffy flags behind them. Pinkie growled low in his throat, then poked his ears. He didn't have a problem with squirrels, exactly. But chasing them? That was instinct. He glanced at the store door. No sign of his owner. Just a quick run. Just scare them a bit. With a silent leap, Pinkie vaulted over the side of the truck bed and hit the pavement running. The squirrels scattered like firecrackers. One darted left, another zipped right, but the smallest one, a scruffy gray fellow with a twitchy tail, shot toward the alley behind the store. That's the one Pinkie chose. Down the alley, across a side street, through a gap in a chain-link fence. Pinkie followed, focused, ears flat against his head as he maneuvered between trash bins and over a tipped-over shopping cart. The squirrel made a sharp turn, darted through a bush, and vanished up a tree. Pinkie skidded to a stop beneath the branches, panting. He stared up, tail wagging wildly. "You win this time," he huffed. He trotted back toward the street, nose to the ground, retracing his steps, except something felt off. The alley looked different. The chain-link fence wasn't where he thought it had been. A weird sinking feeling settled in his chest. He jogged faster now, paws tapping nervously against the pavement. He turned a corner and found the parking lot. Empty. The truck was gone. Pinkie froze. He blinked once. Twice. Then turned in a slow circle. Maybe he had the wrong lot. Maybe it was the next one over. He sprinted down the sidewalk, past 2 more storefronts. Nothing. No truck. No owner. Just the sound of a distant car horn and the soft buzz of town. Pinkie sat down on the curb. His heart thudded in his chest. He was alone. For the first time in his life, really alone. Pinkie didn't move for a long time. He just sat there on the curb, staring at the spot where the truck had been. Every now and then, a car passed by, or someone strolled down the sidewalk with a coffee cup in hand, but no one looked twice at the red heeler sitting so still he might have been a statue. The air didn't smell like home anymore. It was all exhaust fumes and pavement, and Pinkie's sharp nose caught none of the comforting scents of hay, feed, or the dusty denim of his owner's pants. He stood up and turned in a slow circle. Maybe the truck had just moved. Maybe it was parked somewhere else in the lot now. He trotted around the building once. Then again. Then again. By the 4th lap, he knew. He'd been left behind. Pinkie let out a low whine, the kind that curled from deep in his chest. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just the sound of a dog realizing the world had shifted beneath his paws. He tried to think. His owner had gone into the store. Then Pinkie chased the squirrels. Then. Well, it wasn't his owner's fault, was it? He hadn't meant to leave the truck. He wasn't supposed to leave. Okay, Pinkie muttered to himself. Okay. Stay calm. But his heart was thudding like a hammer in his chest. He began pacing. A few people walked by, but they didn't stop. A couple of kids pointed at him through a car window and waved. A delivery guy whistled and said, "Hey there, pup," but then kept walking. Nobody recognized him. Nobody knew he was lost. He needed a plan. Pinkie started walking, head low, ears twitching at every sound. He wandered block after block, circling the area. But nothing smelled like home. Nothing felt familiar. That's when he heard a voice, small, raspy, and oddly cheerful. "You look like you just fell off a hay truck." Pinkie stopped in his tracks. From beneath a wobbly metal patio chair outside a coffee stand emerged a tiny dog, so tiny Pinkie almost didn't see him. He was a Chihuahua, but not like any Chihuahua Pinkie had ever seen. His legs were crooked, his back arched in a funny way, and one of his ears drooped while the other pointed straight to the sky. But his eyes? Bright. Sharp. Like he'd seen 1,000 more sunrises than Pinkie. "You okay, big guy?" the little dog asked. I got left behind," Pinkie stammered. "Ah," said the Chihuahua, stretching slowly. "Happens more than you think. Town's noisy. Easy to get turned around." "I have to get back home," Pinkie said. "Back to the farm. North of town. Way out there past the river." The Chihuahua squinted. "That's a long haul on paw pads. Lot of ground. Lot of trouble in between." "I don't care," Pinkie said. "I have to try." The little dog tilted his head. "I admire that. Most just lie down and wait. Or worse, follow the smell of garbage and forget where they came from." Pinkie stood a little taller. "Well," the Chihuahua said with a shrug, "you'll want to head west out of town and then start angling north once you're past the factory lots." But there's more than just distance between you and that farm. There are dogs, cats, birds, people. Some helpful, some not so much. And then there's that river." Pinkie swallowed hard. "Don't let your nose lead you wrong, Red Dog," the Chihuahua warned. "And trust your gut more than your ears." Pinkie nodded. "Thanks. I won't forget this." "You better not," the Chihuahua said with a wink. "I'm the best guide this side of the dumpsters." Pinkie smiled faintly, then turned to go. "Wait," the Chihuahua called after him. "What's your name?" "Pinkie." The little dog snorted. "Pinkie, huh? You've got a name like a bunny and the heart of a wolf. Go get them, Pinkie." And with that, the red heeler set off toward the edge of town, tail high, steps steady. His journey had begun.